Not how you look, not your reputation, not what people say about you to your face. I mean every private thought someone has ever had about you. Every moment they were disappointed and said nothing. Every time your name came up in a conversation you weren't in. Every judgment they made and buried. What if you could see all of it exactly as it is, unfiltered, unedited, complete? Most people think they want this. They don't. Here are the parameters. Tonight at midnight, every human being gains access to a precise, complete, real-time view of how every other person perceives them. Not a summary, not an average, the specific, granular, unguarded perception of every individual who has ever thought about you. This includes the people who love you most, especially the people who love you most. It is not a feeling, it is not an impression, it is a complete, accurate psychological readout, the full truth of how you exist in someone else's mind. You can see theirs, they can see yours. Everyone sees everyone, simultaneously, permanently. There is no going back. No one can lie about what they see. No one can pretend they didn't. So, what happens?
The first thing that happens is not what you expect. It isn't rage. It isn't relief. It's recognition. Because the very first thing most people discover is that the version of themselves other people carry around is smaller than the version they carry of themselves. You spend enormous mental energy on yourself, your anxieties, your ambitions, your sense of how you come across. You are the main character of your own story. And then you see yourself through someone else's eyes, someone you thought about you constantly, and you discover that you occupy maybe 4% of their mental space. You are a supporting character in their story, a minor one. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, our tendency to believe we are being observed and evaluated far more than we actually are. This thought experiment removes the illusion in an instant. For some people, this is liberating. For most, it is the first wound. You matter less than you thought, and you have to live with that knowledge now. The second wave is where civilization starts to fracture, because relationships, all of them, every single one, are built on a careful architecture of selective perception. You show people what you want them to see. They construct a version of you from that material. You do the same for them, and both of you agree, silently, never to look too closely at the gap between the version and the reality. That agreement is now void. A husband discovers that his wife finds him less interesting than she did 10 years ago. She hasn't stopped loving him, but the specific quality of attention she used to give him, that alert, curious attention, has been replaced by something more comfortable and less alive. She didn't know she felt this. Now she does. Now he does. A mother discovers that her adult son privately finds her exhausting. Not constantly, not completely, but in a specific, recurring way that she has never been told about and that he has never allowed himself to fully acknowledge. He loves her completely and finds her exhausting. Both things are true simultaneously. They have to live in the same room with that truth now. A best friend discovers that the person they consider their closest confidant privately ranks them third. Not maliciously, just honestly. This is the specific brutality of complete perception. It doesn't reveal monsters. It reveals the ordinary, quiet, unremarkable ways we are less important to the people we love than we believed. The pain isn't betrayal. The pain is accuracy. By the end of the first day, something systemic begins to collapse. Social performance. Every interaction you have ever had has contained performance. The version of yourself you construct for your boss. The version you construct for your parents. The version you construct for strangers you want to impress. The version you construct on first dates. at job interviews, at funerals, at parties where you don't know anyone. All of it is visible now, the performance and the performer. And here is what makes this unbearable. Most people's private perception of you was not significantly different from the public performance anyway. They already knew you were performing. They were just polite about it. The performance wasn't fooling anyone. It was just the agreed-upon fiction that made coexistence possible. Without that fiction, without the shared pretense that we are all exactly who we present ourselves to be, social interaction becomes almost unbearably raw. People stop performing, not because they are brave, because there is no point anymore. And when people stop performing, two things happen simultaneously. Interactions become more honest and far more painful. There is a specific group of people for whom this scenario is not just painful, it is annihilating. People whose entire psychological architecture depends on a particular version of themselves being believed. The person who has built their identity around being universally liked discovers in one moment every person who merely tolerates them. Every polite smile that was performance, every friendship that was convenience. The person who privately believes they are more intelligent than everyone around them discovers exactly how many people have already noticed and quietly discounted that belief. The person who has spent decades constructing the appearance of confidence discovers that the people closest to them have always seen the fear underneath it, not unkindly, but clearly. Narcissistic personality structures, built entirely on the maintenance of a grandiose self-image, collapse almost immediately, because narcissism requires a gap between internal self-perception and external reality. That gap no longer exists. For these people, the psychological damage is not metaphorical, it is structural. The self they built does not survive contact with accurate perception. Psychiatric facilities are overwhelmed within 48 hours, not because people are broken, because some people's sense of self was always more fragile than anyone, including themselves, knew.